In the meantime, though, we are keeping an eye on your money. So the Florida House just passed Resolution 203, which would eliminate a large portion of your property taxes. Now, this could equate to some really big savings. So I went digging into what that adds up to for homeowners and cities that could lose some major funding for services that you rely on daily. And it is a story you will see all new this morning.
Because of the price of the home, the property taxes are a little higher.
Amanda Gagliano is an attorney who's been looking to buy a home in South Florida for about a year.
The higher the property is, the more in taxes you'll pay, essentially.
But relief could be on the way for people who get a homestead exemption because their house is their primary residence. The Florida House passed Resolution 203. Broward County tax appraiser Marty Kerr says it would eliminate all property taxes except to fund schools, and it won't reduce funding for first responders.
There are more than 400,000 Broward County residents that would benefit, and the median savings would be right about $2,400.
That's the median, so half of homestead properties would save more and half would save less, depending on your home's tax value. Kerr did the math and says the median savings in these 12 cities would top $3,000 a year. That includes places like Sea Ranch Lakes, with a whopping median property tax savings of $14,000 a year and $4,000 in Weston. Kerr says these 17 cities would save less than $3,000 a year in property taxes under the same proposal. They include places like Fort Lauderdale, with a median savings of $2,900 a year and just $507 for Pembroke Park.
What they also have to understand is that also is a big loss of revenue to local government. So like the Broward County Commission, for example, would lose about $600 million. And depending on the city that you live in, would also impact the amount of money that that city would lose. So a good example is Parkland. Parkland has very little commercial, almost all homesteaded residential. So they will lose about 75% of the property taxes that they collect, which can be very difficult for them.
Money that funds a city's roadways, trash pickup, parks, and a long list of budget items residents rely on daily. The trade-off is the median homeowner in Parkland would save nearly $7,000 a year in property taxes.
On the other end, you have Pembroke Park, which has very little residential, almost all commercial, and has a lot of mobile home communities. They would only lose about 1%.
So the ratio for savings versus losses of services varies greatly depending on where you live and what resolution passes, if any. Factors that aren't lost on Gagliano.
It kind of makes me err with caution and just wonder where they're going to be pulling the deficit from.
All right, so Kerr says if this resolution passes the Senate, it would go on to the general ballot in November, and it could take effect next January if it is all passed. All right, so we do know prices are high, and you're trying to stretch every dollar, so tell us how you're doing it, and if you'd like to talk to us about it, email us at newstips@cbsmiami.com, and be sure to include your best contact information because we may just be reaching out to you about your story.